Hello, my beautiful angels. Welcome to episode 2 of the Belief podcast. I'm your host, Bella, and today I have actually planned a little bit what we'll be talking about. I really want to dive into angel numbers. This is something that I've had so many friends asking about, and then something that I've recently been really interested and has helped me like nothing else has in the astrology realm, and that is you're finding out what your North Node is, because evidently what that has led me to find is just that kind of the license to how to live your life, really. So I'll explain it a bit more as we get into it, but it's really about finding your purpose in this life. So let's just get to it because I'm so excited, and I do want to say that this is not the first time I've recorded the sort of first half of the podcast. I was recording last night and it stopped at about 10 minutes-ish, which was really annoying because once I'm in the flow, it's so easy for me, but to start is a lot harder. So to be in that flow and then to be cut off was, very frustrating to say the least. But I was like, okay, obviously that wasn't meant, that wasn't my best work, or it wasn't what people needed, or I delivered something in a way that could have been misinterpreted. That's why, it needed to go. And then I checked this morning, spoiler alert, everything always works out. And if it doesn't, it's just because you don't know that final piece of information. Oh, that's so annoying that you can see the reflection on there. Anyway, if you're watching the video, so I had a look this morning and there we have it. I was not connected to my microphone. The microphone was, brain, come on today. It is 8:58, so maybe it's a bit too early. I haven't finished my coffee. I'm not usually that person, but today we are. Where was I going with that? Yeah, so the microphone that was being used was the one connected to my laptop, which is really crusty. So we don't want that audio. It sounds way much better. It sounds much better from the microphone. So thank you for being here, and thank you to myself for showing up again, because boy, I was like, why is this stopping me? This is annoying. This is so frustrating. Anyway, now we're here. Feeling better. It was obviously a better time for me to record in the morning. So here we go. You get me all fresh face rather than sleepy and crusty audio. So let's actually get into it. Angel numbers, I'm going to glide through pretty quickly because I'm just going to go through, basically ranging from 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way through to 9 and then 0. And these are just really basic ones that... Well, it's actually just the meaning that I've created for these angel numbers. So meaning numbers in the same sequence of 3 or more. 111 or 1111 or any further sequence of that. So just to start off, anything... No, what's that again? Nothing has meaning to it unless the meaning that you give it. So when I'm interpreting these angel numbers, this is what they mean to me. You can take this same meaning and go, yep, I'd like to start off with the way that Bella sees them, and I'm going to take that meaning and use that for me. You can create whatever meaning you like out of anything in the world. For example, like with the podcast, not the first, the one I tried to record last night not working out and the internet dropping out, I could create meaning and go, oh, well, that's just, they don't want me to record, so they're doing anything to stop me, rah. I could create that meaning to it, or I could create the meaning of, okay, guess the internet is done the same thing, which is really funny, really funny. It's just done the exact same thing. So whether or not this is being recorded, I have no idea. But what I want to say, it is the meaning that you give to it. So the meaning that I gave to, or the meaning that I'm giving to this right now, whether or not I'm even still talking, is that if it doesn't work out, the content's obviously not right, and whatever I create next will be better. So, yeah, it's got that same error. So I know that it's still recording now, but I just don't, well, I don't fully know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep recording. I cannot see. All it says on my screen is final repetition, but I've got the red recording dot and the camera light on. So we shall see, I guess. So I'm going to keep going even though I have no idea. So if this is working and you do end up listening to this, how exciting. And if not, then I'm talking to nobody because I will just delete this. Okay, so I'm diving into the angel numbers, starting off with 111. This to me is trust your intuition. So basically when I see this number, I think, you know, what was I thinking about at the time? What was I feeling about at the time? Or if, you know, nothing was coming up particularly at the time, if I just tune in real quick and sit with it and go, you know, what is it that my intuition wants me to know? You can always do it that way. So that's always a really beautiful one. 222 is that reminder that you're in alignment and you're following that aligned path that is created for you, or that you're creating for yourself, I believe. And I do want to say that you are always on the right path. So the fact that you're sitting here right now means that that is what's meant for you. There are no mistakes in the universe, I believe. So you are always, always on the right path. Whatever is happening is meant to be happening for you. But that 222 is that specific reminder that you're in alignment with your, well, the meaning that I give to it is that in being in alignment with your heart's desires, being in alignment with the things that you truly want to do, rather than, yeah, that reminder that you're on the, I just completely lost my train of thought again because the internet just disconnected, but I'm pretty sure it's still recording. I'm so sorry if this is really disjointed. If it is, I'm going to re-record it anyway. If it's not, and I've decided to say fuck it, I mean, yep, I can swear on this, it's explicit, then apologies, thank you for your patience. Okay. For me, 333 is your guides, angels, and the universe is sending you love. I really love this one because it's such a wholesome, light-hearted one to me. It's just that nice reminder of, yeah, whoever you believe in, even if I know for some people they have a really strong connection to their ancestors, or people that are, you know, being connected to people that have passed away, that were in your family or friends or someone that you loved. So in whatever capacity, whoever it is, whatever it is, that is sending you love. So 333, your guides, angels, universe, whoever, ancestors, you know, family members that have passed away, they're sending you love. 444 to me is very similar to 333. So it's that sending you love, but more so sending you protection. It's like that reminder of like, we got you, you got you. You're not in this alone. So it's more of a strong one for me, and I have this one tattooed on my arm for that very reason. I got this done before I quit my job and before I made, you know, some big moves in my life to shift into alignment. I needed that reminder on me to just go, yes, I'm not alone. The universe has got me. I've got me, and that I can do this and I can follow my heart's desires and everything will be okay provided I do that. And it has worked out really, really well because I'm here today. So yeah, that 444, I created a lot of meaning out of that, and got a lot of positivity out of that to get me where I am today. For 555, this one, pretty simple to me, is just changes are incoming. The more I see these ones, you know, if I see them repeatedly, it's kind of emphasizing that really, really big change that's coming in. For 666, I know a lot of people like to see this one as the devil. I don't, because I don't believe in the devil, and I don't give meaning to things that are so negative, and I don't believe in you either go here or you go here. I believe you go to one place, and depending on what your life has been like and what lessons you learned or didn't learn will then depend where you go within that one place. So if you're really interested in that, I would look up Dolores Cannon's work and any sort of past life regression hypnosis work, because that for me, and also the book Conversations with God, really, really showed me, or it really just aligned with me, hearing that there isn't this massive polarity that we grow up to believe, thinking, oh, you either go to hell or you go to heaven, and if you do all these things, you go to hell, and it's too bad. And, you know, that's just so neg to me. I don't believe in that. That doesn't resonate with me. You can believe whatever you want. Obviously, we all have free will, but yeah, like I've said, I choose to give meaning to things that will be more positive and that will support me, and beliefs that are encouraging my success rather than limiting me. So 666 is a reminder of that power of your spiritual abilities. You're more powerful than you know, and the more that you do this work and the more that you tap into that and believe in yourself, then you'll really start to see this, and you'll really start to see how we do choose our reality. And the quickest shift for that, which I'm sure many of you are on board with anyway, is that your perception of the things that happen around you directly impact the way that your brain will see things moving forward in the future. So just having that positive perception, just to turn something around a little bit, will rewire your neurons, and then eventually the more you do that, the easier it becomes to see the positive, simply because now those paths in your brain are more solid. It's that same principle on as habits. Basically, the more you do something, the stronger the neural pathway gets, and then that is what you'll follow. So you'll always follow the path of least resistance, because that's easier for your neurons to connect. It doesn't require as much training once you've done that. So a bit of a side story there. Hopefully you gained some value out of that one. What do I mean, hopefully? Of course you did. Of course you did. I'm not going to doubt myself and my value. 777 is so funny to me. This one is luck. And I always think of my little brother for this one, because when I got 444 tattooed, he got 777 tattooed, and he is just the luckiest mother trucker. He just is luck to me. And yeah, I really love that about him. And I think it's such a positive number, because it just is so uplifting and like, yes, luck. I mean, who doesn't want to be lucky? So we're all lucky. And I don't see luck in the way, you know, oh, you're just so lucky that you got that. Oh, that's just luck. No, I believe it's all by design, and based on the law of vibration, the law of attraction. Whatever you are, whatever frequency you're at, you're going to draw in everything else at that exact same frequency. So more on that in another episode. But yeah, don't believe in luck in that sense, in that as it's an excuse, as it's often used as an excuse, like, no, that's just lucky. I believe in it by design, and that luck is something amazing, and yeah, that we all have and can all tap into. And I love that my brother's tattoo is in slot machine font. I think that's really funny. Okay, 888 is abundance, prosperity, and good fortune to me. Growing up with Chinese influence in our family, 8 has always been a really positive number. However, on the other side of the coin, 4, because 4 in Chinese also sounds like death in Chinese. There's a lot of negative connotations with the number 4, but I just decided not to subscribe to that belief, because it's neg, doesn't support me, and is literally just based on the sound of the way that the words are. And there may be much more history related to that, of course, but I just don't choose to subscribe to that. So I just believe 4 and 8 are both positive. 999 is completion, so closing doors but opening new doors. So I see that one as like, as if those 555, those changes have now come through. They're really, really starting to roll in. And now we're seeing the 999 as you're really closing up all of those doors and you're starting to open up new ones. And then on that same similar train, we've got 000, which to me is that major reset. That is just start again. And that's them. That is the angel numbers. So hopefully that was... No, stop saying hopefully, Bella. I am sure that was of value to some of you. And yeah, keep an eye out for angel numbers now. I just think that they're such a positive way to find support around you in those moments where you're driving in the car and you're just feeling a bit flat and you see 444 and you're like, oh, thanks, that's nice. And then, you know, you see 888 and you're like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. And, you know, it's just such a positive way of seeing things like numbers. And for a girl who really never liked maths and really never resonated with numbers, it has just created such a positive outlook on my life. As you can tell, I have a tattoo of it. So, yeah, really, really positive stuff. And the more you see them, the more you'll see them even more and more and more and more. So I found with my progression, it was like, oh, I saw like a lot of, you know, 111s today. Like I saw 1111 a couple, you know, twice today. How cool. And then you'll start to see more and more and more and more. And then, you know, you'll be pointing them out. And then it will get to a point where you don't even point them out anymore to your friends because they're just like, yeah, we get it. You see them all the time. So, yeah, it's really exciting and really positive, I think. So the next thing I want to talk about is north nodes. So as I briefly mentioned in the intro, your north nodes are a part of the wider astrology natal chart. So the north node is based on the position, is it the position of the moon? Yeah, the position of the moon when you were born. So just as the full natal chart is based on the position of different things like the sun and the other planets, where was I going with that? At the time that you were born. So some of those things are really, really time specific, based on where the planets have moved. However, the north node the position of the moon being in that north node, that one north node, is for quite a longer period than some of the other planets. So, when you look up what your north node is, and I've got the book here, I can see that there's a couple of months within the same year that have the same north node. So like, for example, let's go one that like people might be able to relate to. So if you're born between Jan 26, 1997, and October 20th, 1998, you're a Virgo. So that's quite a long time for the north node of the moon to be in one position. So it's not as hard to find. All you need is your birth date. So I know a lot of people don't have their birth time. That's okay. You can still find your north node without your birth time. And what the north node has, or finding out what my north node is, has given me so much value in mastering what I need to do in this life. What did I come here to learn in this life? So my north node is in Leo, which is really exciting because my mum's a Leo. So one thing that I've noticed with, depending on what your north node is, because it will likely be different to your sun, but not always, is find out what your north node is and then figure out who in your life has that as their sun sign, because what that means is mum's natural sense of being in her sun sign as Leo is what I have come here to master. So, I mean, in my eyes, I'm like, sweet, easy. I just need to, you know, read out what is aligned with North Node Leo and then just embody that with mum because it's so simple for her. Similarly, if somebody had a North Node in Aquarius, I would be able to show, okay, well, this is my natural essence of being an Aquarius and what I believe in. I believe in independence and expression and breaking social norms and questioning things. 111. So, finding someone who has the sun sign that is your North Node. I really hope that makes sense for my non-astrology guys and girlies, but don't you worry. I'll get into it a little bit more. So I just want to, you can go ahead and look up your North Node online. Just put in your birthday. I've been using this book, Astrology for the Soul by Jan Spiller. Mum found it in an op shop. It is incredible. And I've shown a couple of friends already, and we've sort of looked through their North Nodes, and it's been really beneficial and resonates so well because I found, something with sun signs, and I think this is a position that a lot of people agree on, that, you'll see an astrology writing based on your sun sign, so the one that you are, right, that you'll probably know yourself as is based on, when you were born, what month, pretty much. You open up, okay, I'm not opening up a newspaper, obviously, but you go on the news or whatever, and you see that there's someone doing a reading, and it's like this little, paragraph for your sun sign, and you're like, that is the most generic, broad crap I've ever seen. I don't believe it. And I hear you. I totally hear you. You cannot base your natal chart's full of 10 planets, right, including the sun and the moon in that 10. So if you're going to go ahead and just base someone's fortune based on one of those factors, it's not going to be right. So I really want to reiterate that astrology is so powerful when used correctly and when used holistically. When you're looking at the whole picture, when you're looking at your whole chart, it makes so much more sense than just going, oh, she's an Aquarius, oh yeah, she breaks social norms and is aloof. Okay, well, yeah, sure, I can be aloof, but those more so quote unquote negative traits can be worked on. And for example, you could say, oh, Aquariuses are usually independent. Well, I actually had massive codependency issues up until last year. So you can be in or out of alignment. You can have more of the positive traits or more of the negative traits. But the thing that I really love with the North Node is it's so specific. And I love that it goes into your previous incarnations, so your previous lives, and really explain. So I'm just going to give you a bit of an idea of what your North Node information can provide. So for me, North Node in Leo. So we've got here tendencies to leave behind. So this is what I can work on to make life easier and more enjoyable. So releasing the need to be subject to peer pressure in order to belong, detaching from emotional situations, waiting for others to prompt one's own action, overlooking what's really going on, waiting for more knowledge before taking action. This was me to a T, because I was like, oh no, I need a podcast name before I can do anything. Oh no, I need a branding before I can blah, blah. 1,000 excuses. Excessive daydreaming and running away from confrontations. So then the attributes to develop. So working on these areas in this lifetime can uncover hidden gifts and talents. So for me, working on individuality, willingness to take center stage, let's giving that one a try. Following one's heart's desires, strengthening one's willpower, enthusiasm, self-confidence, taking risks, relating to the childlike quality in others. Easy. Enjoying life, having fun, looking at life as a game, developing an up to me attitude. So just reading these traits for me, I can go in and tick and go, yes, okay, these ones I want to work on. But I love that it just calls you out, as it should. I don't want to be beating around the bush on what I need to work on. I want to be able to see, oh, okay, well, I need to, I can be subject to run away from confrontations according to my design. So that's something I want to work on in this lifetime. And the main principle is once you master the things that you need to develop and you leave behind those tendencies that don't support your success, then you're so easily living in alignment. And one thing that mine says, which I love, is this lifetime, so this is for me, this lifetime is about becoming involved and learning how to play. Oath. I am so down for that. So, I mean, obviously everyone has a completely different North Node. But if you are interested in finding out, to me, it's just a life hack. It's just like, oh, well, what information is out there for me that I can do the inner work on and improve myself? And astrology is one of the first places that I think a lot of people look. So I would highly recommend looking at your North Node, because it really just gives you that blueprint. It is incredible how much resonates once you actually start reading. I think a lot of people that have criticized astrology or anything that is in that similar realm, people criticize it because they actually haven't looked into it themselves. They've just seen, some astrology girly say something and take offense to it potentially, and then, they're ruling it out, and then they've got all these memes and whatnot. So, yeah, I just really encourage doing your own research. There's not really an excuse for ignorance these days, because we have the information at our fingertips. So if you're telling yourself this narrative about, I don't know what to do with my life, blah, 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 well, there's an answer for you right here that you can have a look. Look, it may not resonate with everyone, but if you're feeling like it doesn't resonate, I also want you to ask yourself, is that because it's true and I'm being triggered? Because our ego will read some of those things and might often go, that's not me, this is bullshit, this whole thing is bullshit. This woman's based her whole life on this, and all these astronomers and astrologers, and yeah, no, it's rubbish, it doesn't apply to me. Potentially that's just your ego trying to find a way to keep you safe, because that's what your ego does. I don't believe in this whole eradicate the ego, kill the ego. No. That I believe the ego is here to help out the human side. So your ego is the one that keeps you safe and says, oh, maybe don't do this, oh, maybe don't do that, and trying to keep you as comfortable as possible. And it is uncomfortable to, read some things about yourself that do ring true, and you're reading this and you're like, great, this means this is out of alignment in my life because I know it to be true, and I can see that this is also out of alignment. Okay, well, now knowing that I have the power to change my life, I'm going to go and do these things, or I'm going to get started on these things and start thinking about them. And, the ego doesn't like that because that's uncomfortable, and that's just, it is what it is. We need to get uncomfortable if we want to enjoy life here, and it's only getting uncomfortable for a little bit. I really see it as like, if you make the really hard choices while you're younger, then things will be a lot easier when you're older. But if you make, easy choices while you're younger, oh, whatever, I'll just follow the status quo. Oh, I want to do this, but it doesn't look as prestigious and it's probably not going to earn me enough money. I'll just fall into this role. I can tell you I followed that path and I was miserable. And after now, doing the very thing that, this obviously isn't making me any money right now on episode 2, but it's not about that. It's about the impact that I want to make and the expression that I want to allow myself to have. And I want to play and I want to explore. So yeah. That's my North Node, right? So would highly recommend having a look at your North Node if, mastering your purpose in this life is something you're interested in. I'm personally not interested in coming back to Earth. I feel like I want to do it properly. I want to learn all my lessons so that if I learn them all in this life, I don't have to come back and repeat them. Like, do you ever see some people and you just see that you can just see the struggle that they're going through, but you can also see the resistance to change. And I've found myself in this, thought loop many, many times. And it's just this sort of, I know something needs to change, but I don't know what, but I'm so exhausted. I don't have the energy to even change. And that is completely fair. And what I want to say to those people that are in those positions is get support. Whatever capacity you need, you get support. And even if it is listening to 1,000 podcasts a day, just to give you that, because I had been in that where, you know, podcasts did really, really, really help me, and that was all I needed for a certain period. But there was also other periods where I needed professional help, and I went and saw a psychologist, and then eventually you learn how to therapize yourself and you don't need it anymore. But yeah, I do want to say that if you're in that position where you're just so exhausted, get support, get help, however that is. I would recommend, honestly, so many different things such as timeline therapy, but obviously that's not as accessible. But if you are interested in that, let me know, because I happen to know a practitioner. So there are a lot of things that you can do, and look, if you're really unsure, drop me a message, please, 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 because I never want anyone to think that they don't have the support. Now, I'm not going to be able to provide you that support, but I will do my absolute best in figuring out what might be the best kind of support for you, because I know that it can be so overwhelming. So, yeah, if you really, really are stuck and you're not sure where to go, let me know your situation, and in my own time, I'll get back to you, and really be able to give you, you know, my full attention and be present and see what you might need. Obviously, I still need to, I would like you to respect my boundaries as I respect everybody else's boundaries. And the one thing that I have found quite hard already is managing my time online now that I have this going on, and, you know, not to mention just personal things online. So if I'm not getting back to you, it is not personal. And on that, nothing is ever personal, ever. From anyone, nothing is personal. It's all internal. Whatever's going on in our internal will be reflected externally. So nothing is personal. But me not replying is me setting a boundary for my own mental health, in that I need to balance when I'm going to be on my phone, when I'm going to be on my laptop, and really looking at what is work and what is, you know, what, I don't like that word, work. I'm not calling this work, but really when I'm ready to be present for you guys, that's when I'll be online. If I'm not online, it means I'm either with family or friends or with myself. So, yeah, if I'm not responding, it's because I really want to be present. So yeah, look, I honestly, it's getting close to that time now. I don't know what time it is, because I've been recording this pretty much this whole thing since it dropped out with just, there's a black screen and it says final repetition, but it's recording. So I have no clue if this has been salvaged. I'll probably be spewing if it wasn't, because I was really, really excited to talk about these things. But if not, everything happens for a reason. So you're either hearing this or you're not, but regardless, yeah, my biggest takeaway for today's episode is that, you know, things only have the meaning that you give to it. So you have that power. You have full power to determine what has meaning and what doesn't have meaning. So you have the power to say, if somebody flips you off in traffic and is beeping and is just so angry, you can take that as an attack, and you can take it personally and be like, how dare they? How flippin' dare they? Or you can create a different meaning and look at it and go, wow, that person is obviously having a really, really rough day. I'm going to ground myself, center myself, and just remind myself that nothing is personal, and that person is not angry at me for who I am as a person. It was just obviously the last straw. So the best thing that I can do in this scenario is just send them love and send them good vibrations, emit a higher frequency, because the law of transmutation is that higher frequencies do consume lower frequencies. So if you ever walk into a room and you're high vibe, you immediately can see the look on some people's faces, and they immediately rise. Their vibe goes up. So my point with that is, yeah, you can give meaning to whatever you like. And personally in life, I have just found it a lot easier to give things a more positive meaning, and make sure that you're still reflecting on that. You don't want to be masking something as positive when you've actually got lots of healing to do in that area. But I really want you to just, look at your beliefs and look at what are the things that might be holding you back. The difference. There's a big difference between a belief that holds you back and is limiting, and a belief that supports you and encourages you to be a better person and enjoy this human experience. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so happy that you're all on here. I honestly was so shocked to look at the podcast, statistics afterwards, and see that while there was, the largest portion of females listening, but there was 44% males listening, which makes me so happy, because I really, really want this content to be available to everyone, to be able to have an impact to every single person, every single human that is interested. So there's no discrimination here, whether you're whatever you identify as. This podcast is for you, provided you're a human. I mean, this can also be for your dogs too, if you want, I guess, and your cats, sure. But anyone that has a soul, there we go. This is a podcast for souls. So I'm so happy to hear that there is a spread of people listening. And as always, so eager to hear what you guys took away. And if there's anything else you would like me to talk on, please let me know. Really, really here to provide a positive impact and share the tools and resources that have helped me so much and have gotten me in a position now to just be so confident in who I am and have a really, really strong belief in myself. So I love you all so much. I hope you have an amazing day or night or whatever time you're listening. Wow. Yeah, it's obviously time for me to end this because my words are blah, blah, blah. Okay, I still have no idea if this is working. But regardless, I love you so much. And spread so much love. And your homework is to, really marinate on the fact that you can create meaning to anything. So why not create a positive meaning to things that will support you and give you a better outlook on life? So, thank you so much. Goodbye. See you for episode 3.